Everything in Andrew's life feels broken. His mother's bedridden, his father's violent, and at school, he's practically invisible. A quiet loner from Seattle, Andrew decides he's had enough of being pushed around. So he picks up a camera, not just to record life, but maybe to reclaim a little control. From now on, he tells himself, everything gets filmed, documenting his sick mom's morning smile, his cousin Matt picking him up for school. Matt, the more outgoing of the two, throws around bits of philosophy, trying to pull Andrew out of his shell. But Andrew mostly stays behind the lens, observing, not participating. At school, a few guys grab his camera, mock him, then toss it back like he's not even worth the effort. Matt later invites him to a party, a chance to be around people for once. But Andrew's not into it. Still, Matt insists, maybe it's the right push at the right time. Later that day, things boil over at home. Andrew's father bursts into his room, furious. The camera doesn't stop rolling as Andrew hits the floor. That night, he drags himself to the party. Lights, music, chaos. Not really his scene. He floats through the crowd, recording everything. Matt's trying and failing to impress a girl named Casey, who's also filming the night for her vlog. Andrew's trying to blend in until a drunk guy snaps at him, accusing him of filming his girlfriend. Just like that, Andrew's outside again, alone, wiping mud off his lens, trying not to cry. Steve, the popular golden boy type, calls out to him, says he and Matt found something weird in the woods. The sound coming from the pit isn't just strange, a deep, pulsing hum echoing from somewhere underground. Without hesitation, Steve dives in, Matt follows, and Andrew, camera in hand, climbs down after them. The deeper they go, the weirder it gets. At the heart of the cavern lies a massive glowing crystal, humming louder with every second. Suddenly the ground trembles, the walls shake, and everything cuts to black. Now, the three boys are in a backyard, but something's different. They're tossing a baseball around, until Matt flings it at Steve, and it curves mid-air like it's got a mind of its own. Then Andrew stops the ball mid-flight. No hands. Just his mind. Nose bleeding, he drops it in shock. They don't know what that thing underground did to them, but it changed them. Inside, they float Lego pieces in the air like it's second nature. No tricks, no strings, just raw telekinetic power. Curious, and maybe a little scared, they return to the site, but it's gone. Buried, authorities are already swarming the place, warning them to stay away. Whatever they found, someone else knows about it now. On the drive back, Steve opens up to Andrew. For the first time, there's a real connection, not just between powers, but as people. Andrew talks about his mom's worsening illness, and how his dad, once a firefighter, now sits at home, bitter and broken, living off government checks. Steve admits his home life isn't perfect either. The powers brought them together, but it's their broken families that keep them close. Later, Andrew practices with the camera. He overhears his dad on the phone, begging for more medical help, and Karen's health is fading fast. Needing a break from everything, Andrew takes his mom out for a walk by the marina. Just for a moment, life feels normal, peaceful even. Out at a lake, the trio push their powers further. Andrew asks Matt a real question. "Do you even like me?" Matt says he does, but admits Andrew was always tough to talk to. Now, things are different. They've tapped into something bigger than all of them. Matt starts theorizing. He thinks their powers work like a muscle. The more they use it, the stronger it gets. But overdo it, and it fights back. Nosebleeds are the warning sign. Last night, Matt says he levitated his entire bed. No nosebleed. Andrew gets bold. What if they took their tests to a public place? The supermarket. They treat it like a playground. Andrew sends a shopping cart rolling on its own. Steve levitates a stuffed toy in front of a kid. Matt tries to yank gum out of someone's mouth telekinetically, but ends up smacking the guy in the face. At a diner later, things turn edgy. Andrew tries jabbing Matt with a fork to prove their powers can stop sharp objects. At a diner, Andrew messes around and somehow manifests an image of the Virgin Mary on his pancake. A waitress sees it, freaks out, and the boys burst into laughter. Outside in the parking lot, he moves a woman's entire car from one spot to another. The woman comes back confused and panicking, and the boys laugh like it's all a joke. But Steve's nose is gushing blood. He shrugs it off, says he's fine, but it's clear they're crossing a line. On the way home, a pickup truck starts tailgating and honking. Andrew, irritated, decides to mess with it. Just a little nudge. The truck loses control, crashes through the guardrail, and plunges into a river. Suddenly, the game is over. Steve dives in to pull the driver out. They call for help. And now, it's not fun anymore. It's real. Matt confronts Andrew. He's furious. Someone almost died. and Andrew acts like it's no big deal. Matt says they need rules because this power is growing stronger. The next day, they meet up with Steve at a landfill, and he's flying. He hovers above them like it's nothing, laughing, telling them to try. Matt gives it a go, but faceplants hard. Andrew gets up. He floats. He rises. He loves it. Soon, all three are flying through the sky, faster than jets, tossing a football in midair. A passenger plane flies by too close, knocking Steve unconscious. Andrew dives, grabs him mid-fall, and manages to slow them down just before impact. They crash land, but survive. Later, at Steve's house, they're crashing on the couch. Andrew, glowing with joy, tells them this was the best day of his entire life. For once, everything feels perfect. Back at school, the trio dream bigger, a world tour. Meanwhile, Matt has changed. He gives a donation to Casey, the girl who vlogs. It's for a drought relief campaign, she mentioned. She's surprised, not just by the gift, but by him. She tells him he used to seem too smart, too detached. Now he's engaged. He's present. She doesn't know it's because he's carrying something no one else understands. Matt opens up to Casey, says he's different now, says he understands people better, that he wants to hang out with her, maybe even get closer. Casey slams the door in his face. Meanwhile, Andrew and Steve chill on top of a skyscraper. He's levitating his camera like a pro. Andrew finally opens up, admitting he's been lonely most of his life. Even Matt never really hung out with him much, despite being cousins. Steve, trying to boost his confidence, pitches a wild idea. Let's enter the school talent show. Andrew agrees. He gets ready for the performance, dressed sharp. Even Karen notices. But before he can leave, Richard calls, angry, suspicious, accusing Andrew of hiding something. Andrew hangs up. At the talent show, Matt's behind the camera, filming. He runs into Casey again, awkward tension in the air. But all eyes shift as Steve and Andrew take the stage. The show is electric. Andrew's powers make the magic look real. Cards fly, objects float, the crowd goes wild. It's Andrew's moment, and he eats it up. Later at a house party, Andrew walks in like a hero. Everyone's excited to see him. He meets a pink-haired girl. They hit it off. He laughs. He belongs, finally. Matt leaves him a heartfelt message on camera, but Casey spots him again, and this time, she asks him to come with her. Meanwhile, Steve takes over filming, searching the party for Andrew. Upstairs, Steve finds him, and it's not pretty. Andrew's vomited all over the girl. It's humiliating. Matt walks in laughing, but Andrew snaps, furious. He screams at them and storms out. The next day, Andrew's alone again. He floats a spider in the air and tears it apart midair, piece by piece. Richard barges into Andrew's room. He found the expensive camera. He's furious, screaming about bills, medication, and irresponsibility. Andrew talks back. Richard lunges. That's the last mistake he'll make. Andrew unleashes his power, throwing Richard across the room like a rag doll. And Andrew, he's trembling, but not with fear, with rage. Somewhere else, Matt is with Casey when his nose starts bleeding. He hasn't even used his powers. Something's wrong. Out in the middle of a thunderstorm, Andrew's floating, crying, broken, alone in the sky. Steve shows up, blood dripping from his nose too. He says he heard Andrew calling out, like a psychic scream. Steve pleads with him to come down, to calm down, to just breathe. But Andrew's had enough. Lightning flashes, and then it strikes. Time passes. A funeral is held. Andrew films from a distance. Steve's gone. Matt and Casey are there. So are the rest of their classmates. After the service, Matt confronts him, demands answers. How could Steve be hit by lightning when no strike was recorded? Andrew stays silent. Then he flies away, escaping again. The next day, guilt weighs heavy. He visits Steve's grave, mumbling apologies. Says he didn't mean for it to happen. Back at the pit where it all began, he finds it overgrown. Nature trying to bury their origin story. At school, it gets worse. The party incident haunts him. Laughter behind his back. He spots the pink-haired girl. She's laughing too with her friends. Then the bully mocks him, full on mimics him vomiting. Something snaps. Andrew walks up and, without hesitation, rips the bully's teeth out. Later, he hides in a bathroom stall, holding the bloodied teeth like trophies. He shows them to the camera, describing each one like he's a surgeon dissecting his own darkness. Andrew, now fully immersed in isolation and madness, talks to the camera again. He rambles about evolution, about apex predators, about how guilt is for the weak, how people squash ants and step on bugs without a second thought. And now, he's become that kind of predator. He turns around and casually crushes a car with his mind. Back home, Matt barges into Andrew's room. He's heard what happened at school. He's shaken, warns Andrew that this can't keep happening, that they're too powerful now to act without restraint. Andrew doesn't listen. Matt throws a punch. Andrew catches it midair like it's nothing. Matt walks away, scared of what his cousin's becoming. Later, Andrew tries to buy meds for his mother, but he doesn't have enough money. The pharmacist sends him away. Andrew digs out his dad's old firefighter suit and puts it on like armor. Then he becomes the villain he never wanted to be. He targets the men on his street, the ones who always humiliated him. With one motion, he blasts them into cars, into the pavement. Bodies fly, screams fill the air. In seconds, they're all out cold, and he's pocketing their cash. Then he heads to a gas station, disables the cashier without a word, empties the register. No mercy, no hesitation, no guilt. As Andrew walks out of the gas station with stolen cash, the cashier storms after him, shotgun in hand. Andrew swipes the gun aside like it's nothing. Bang! The shot hits a nearby gas tank. Explosion. Flames erupt. Next scene, a hospital room. Andrew lies unconscious, body wrapped in burns. His father, Richard, shows up, and for once, he cries. Through the tears, he tells Andrew that his mother, Karen, has died. Richard blames Andrew, says if he hadn't run off, she might have still been alive. Then he starts yelling, demanding Andrew apologize, screaming in his face, until suddenly, boom! Andrew wakes up and blasts a hole through the hospital wall. Miles away, at a birthday party, Matt's nose starts bleeding. He knows something's wrong. The news confirms it. Explosion at the hospital. Matt and Casey rush to the scene. When they get there, they see Andrew lifting Richard into the air and dropping him. Matt dives in, barely saving him from hitting the ground. But it doesn't end there. Andrew finds their car, grabs it midair, and drags them to the freaking Space Needle, dangling them like toys at a theme park. Then he lets go. Matt catches Casey just in time and brings her down to safety. The entire city is watching the monster Andrew has become. Matt flies up to confront him. One last chance. Andrew doesn't listen. He rants. About the world. About being bullied, abused, humiliated. Matt offers him a way out. They can leave everything behind. Disappear. Start a new life. Andrew's response? He throws a bus at him. That's it. The city becomes their battlefield. Andrew and Matt crash through buildings, roads, homes. Superpowers unleashed. No holding back. Andrew shows no concern for lives caught in the crossfire. But Matt, he's still holding back, still trying to save his friend. The police arrive, guns drawn, they open fire, Matt gets hit. Andrew blasts the entire squad back without blinking. Then, silence. They land in a plaza. Police close in again. Matt pleads, Andrew, please, stop. But Andrew is beyond saving. The cops open fire again. Andrew raises his hands and stops every bullet in midair. He screams, and the city shakes with him. Glass shatters, buildings tremble. Matt knows what he has to do. He grabs a nearby statue, breaks off a steel spear, and drives it through Andrew's chest. Time freezes. Andrew hangs in the air, lifeless. Matt backs away. The police approach. But before they can act, Matt takes off. Gone. Time passes. We see Matt flying high above snow-covered mountains. He's alone, talking to a camera, as if Andrew were still with him. He points to ancient Tibetan temples below. Says maybe this is where it all began, or where it all ends. Thanks for watching.